What if your trusted RSI indicator has been betraying you? Many traders hear RSI below 30, time to buy, or RSI above 70, sell now, without asking why. This one-line rule can lure you into false trades. The RSI, Relative Strength Index, was introduced by J. Wells Wilder in 1978 as a simple momentum oscillator. It measures the speed of recent price changes and oscillates between 0 and 100. Above 70 is considered overbought, below 30 oversold. In theory, this sounds powerful. It identifies extremes in market sentiment. In practice, however, it can mislead. As one analyst puts it, trending markets can keep rising long after the RSI hits overbought, or keep falling after it hits oversold. In other words, the RSI is not a crystal ball. It's a lagging summary of what's already happened. Blindly treating 70-30 levels as buy/sell triggers often fails, because RSI doesn't know about underlying trends, volume, or news. Traders love RSI for its simplicity, but that very simplicity is the trap. It compresses complex market dynamics into one line. If you treat that line as gospel, you'll get burned. Even without formal training, it's easy for a retail trader to misuse RSI. Here are the most common mistakes, the RSI traps, that turn promising signals into losses. Trading every signal. A classic rookie error is jumping on every RSI buy/sell signal. For example, when RSI dips below 30, enter trade now seems obvious. But in a strong trend, RSI can linger in the oversold zone for a long time. One trading guide bluntly warns, not every RSI signal is worth your money. In strong trending markets, RSI can stay overbought or oversold for extended periods. If you sell as soon as RSI hits 75, but price keeps climbing, you'll regret it. In short, don't fight the trend just because RSI says so. Ignoring market context. The same RSI number means different things in different environments. In a raging bull market, RSI might never dip to 30. In a crash, it may rarely exceed 70. The Planet Training notes that RSI works differently in trending versus ranging markets. In strong uptrends, RSI rarely drops below 30. Instead, look for pullbacks to the 40-50 level as buying opportunities. If you ignore this, you may prematurely buy on dips that aren't done, or sell at every 70 without realizing strong momentum. Always ask, is the stock in a clear trend or is it choppy? The RSI alone won't tell you. Whipsaw in choppy markets. In a sideways or volatile market, RSI can swing back and forth across 50, producing lots of signals, many of them false. Quantified Strategies notes that in range-bound conditions, the RSI may generate frequent buy and sell signals due to price oscillations. If you acted on all those crosses, you'd rack up losses. Imagine RSI creeping above 70 on a small spike, then dipping back, each time a false entry. Without a filter, you'll get whipsawed by noise. No confirmation. RSI is a lagging indicator. By the time it enters extreme territory, the move is often well underway. Owanda advises, never buy or sell the instant RSI hits 30 or 70. Instead, wait for it to cross back out of that zone. For example, don't buy immediately at RSI P25. Wait until RSI climbs above 30, or better, back above 40, to confirm momentum is really shifting. Likewise, a high RSI hitting 75 should be confirmed by a drop below 70 before selling. Acting on raw threshold hits often triggers false trades. Ignoring risk control. Even a textbook RSI signal can fail. As one guru bluntly puts it, even the best RSI signals can fail. Never risk more than 2% of your account on any single trade. No matter how certain an RSI setup looks, use stops and small positions. Over-leveraging on a single RSI trade is a fast track to blowing your account. Each mistake above has a story. For instance, consider a trader named Alice. She saw the RSI for Tech Corp fall to 25 and excitedly bought shares, thinking it's oversold, a sure bounce. But Tech Corp was in a deep downtrend, and news kept pushing the price lower. Her trade went bust. Similarly, Bob watched an up momentum chart and saw RSI above 80. Time to short, he thought. Instead, the stock continued surging, fueled by news Bob hadn't seen, and RSI stayed elevated. Bob's short got squeezed. These symptoms, thinking oversold, buy or overbought, sell without checks, are common in retail trading. A favorite stock plunges, RSI dives below 30, oversold. Instinct screams, buy the dip, but instead the price keeps falling, taking your capital with it. Welcome to the RSI oversold trap. Accounts bleed out while whispering, but it was oversold. In other words, RSI can look oversold while stronger forces keep pushing down. Taken together, the above pitfalls explain why retail traders often see RSI failures. We used but, and therefore all over these anecdotes. She buys thinking reversal is near, but the trend is too strong. Therefore she loses. He shorts on an overbought, but he misses the breakout. Therefore he gets burned. This dynamic, context versus conflict, keeps the story vivid. Let's dissect why RSI misfires. Think of RSI as a thermometer for market momentum. It tells you if momentum is hot or cold, but not why or how quickly the temperature might change. Several root causes stand out. Blind spots, lack of broader market context. The RSI only sees price. It ignores volume, news, or derivative markets. For example, during a crash, RSI might reach 20, but that doesn't mean everyone is about to buy. Institutions may be piling on short positions. As one market researcher notes, standard RSI calculations live in a vacuum, screaming oversold, while the derivatives market is actually saying something very different. In practice, a savvy trader checks other signs, option open interest, trend lines, support zones, to confirm if an RSI signal is backed by real demand. If not, it's likely a false alarm. Lagging nature. By definition, RSI is based on past price changes. It often signals late. In a fast breakout, RSI may move above 70 only after most of the move is done. Owanda bluntly warns that RSI is a lagging indicator. By the time RSI responds, the opportunity might have already passed. In volatile markets, every second counts. Waiting for RSI can leave you too late. Trend versus range. RSI assumes mean reversion. Price will swing back from extremes. This works in range-bound markets, but poorly in trends. Quantified strategies highlights this. In trending conditions, RSI can stay in OBOS zones indefinitely. So those levels don't necessarily provide reliable signals. Conversely, in sideways markets, the RSI will flip often, yielding many entries/exits. Both contexts mean standalone RSI signals have a high failure rate. Divergences and patterns. Traders also use RSI divergences, e.g. a price new high while RSI makes lower high, as reversal clues. These can indeed be powerful, but they're no guarantee. Not every divergence leads to a flip. Interpreting them correctly takes skill and confirmation. Beginners often see divergences where none effectively change price, leading to whipsaws. Settings and timeframes. Many users take RSI 14.7 down 30 as gospel. But as the Planet tutorial shows, the optimal settings depend on style. A 5-minute RSI on a daily chart is meaningless. A scalper might use a 7-period RSI, fast but noisy, while a swing trader might use 21 periods, slow but smooth. Using the wrong time frame or thresholds mismatched to the market can make RSI signals seem to fail. To summarize the diagnosis, RSI signals often fail because the indicator is an incomplete view of the market. It has blind spots, no volume or trend context, and is inherently retrospective. In trending markets, it is especially prone to false signals. The remedy is to treat RSI readings not as absolute truths, but as cues that need other checks. So how do we cure the RSI problem? The key is contextual, disciplined trading. Here are practical steps to never get fooled again. Context is king. Always start by identifying the trend or market regime. If the stock is on an uptrend, adjust your RSI strategy. Use dips to counter $50 as buys instead of waiting for 30. In a downtrend, Think of RSI near 50 to 60 as your signal to sell, not 70. As Owanda explains, in strong uptrends, RSI often stays above 42 to 50, using that band as support. In plain English, don't treat RSI in a trend the same as in a range. But if you're unsure, simply avoid trading RSI extremes against an obvious trend. Wait for confirmation. Make RSI confirmation, not initial trigger. For example, if RSI shoots to 25, oversold, don't buy right away. Wait for it to cross back above 30 or even 40 before going long. Conversely, only short after RSI dips back below 70 from above. This extra step filters out quick spikes. It's akin to waiting for an athlete's heart rate to dip after a sprint before deciding they've slowed. Owanda's advice is clear. A common mistake is to buy/sell immediately when RSI enters extreme. A better approach is to wait until it crosses back. Blend with other tools. Use RSI as one of several indicators. Combine it with moving averages, trend lines, support, resistance, or volume. For instance, only take an RSI buy if price is also above its 50-day MA or bouncing off a known support level. Check for bullish candlestick patterns on price or rising volume. Quantitative advice: combine RSI with other technical indicators, MA, volume patterns, to improve signals. If multiple indicators line up on a reversal, the signal is stronger. If RSI says buy, but everything else says sell, it's probably better to stay out. Use the 50 midline. Many traders get trapped by fixating on 70-30. Instead, consider the RSI's 50 level as a dynamic pivot. In uptrends, RSI often hovers above 50. A drop toward 50 can be a buying zone, and a bounce back up is bullish. In downtrends, RSI below 50 is the norm. Rallies up near 50 can be selling chances. The chart below illustrates an RSI repeatedly finding support at 50 in a strong uptrend. Chart: RSI, bottom, using the 50 midlines, green. In this uptrend example, RSI repeatedly bounces off 50, signaling continuation. Adjust settings when appropriate. Be willing to tweak RSI parameters for the market. As the Planet Guide shows, shorter RSI periods, 5 to 9, yield quicker but noisier signals, while longer periods, 21 plus, smooth out fluctuations. In volatile times, you might widen overbought/oversold to 85-20 to stay in trades longer. The key is not dogma, but experimentation. Test different RSI lengths or thresholds on historical data and see what reduces false signals for your asset. The worst thing is to use RSI 14,070-30 blindly in all situations. Strict risk management. Never let a single RSI trade end your run. Always use stops. A false signal is inevitable now and then, so keep trades small. A 2% rule, never risk over 2% per trade, is standard. If you're wrong, you lose a tiny amount and live to trade another day. Over time, this simple discipline turns many near losses from RSI traps into what could have been stories instead of blowing up accounts. By following this prescription, the conflict is resolved. You no longer blindly obey the RSI or ignore it. You see it as a helpful hint within a bigger analysis. This shift, the resolution, is what every retail trader needs to fully benefit from RSI. In summary, your RSI signals weren't magic, and their failures had very human causes. We've played doctor with your trading. We diagnosed RSI's limitations, lag, blind spots, trend sensitivity, and prescribed a fix: context, confirmation, multiple filters. Now, armed with the facts, you can turn RSI's weaknesses into strengths. Next time the RSI flashes a trade, pause and ask, what is the broader context? Am I confirming this with price or other indicators? If the answer is no, treat it as a caution, not a command. As Owanda reminds us, the RSI is a useful tool, but should not be used alone. When you combine it with solid trend analysis, supportive indicators, and sensible risk, those failing signals become signals you've outsmarted. So trade smart, not just on signals. Let the RSI inform you, but let reason guide you, and those RSI failures will become lessons, not losses.